Hello and welcome to the Daily Royal. My name is Shelby and I have been a royal watcher for the past 10 years. In this podcast, I talk about the daily events of 7 of the European monarchies. So I talk about Belgium, the UK, Denmark, the Netherlands, Norway, Spain, and Sweden. I upload Monday through Friday with occasional bonus episodes here and there. Today we are going to be talking about all of the events from Monday, October 25th of 2021. So it was a busy day, I'm not going to lie. There weren't basically it's just one thing in every country. There were a couple of countries that had 2, but really only shared a lot of details on 1. So not a ton, but we have some announcements. We had a birthday today. There were just a lot of things. So we are going to jump right in with the Belgian royal family. Belgium. In Belgium today, King Philippe left Belgium for his upcoming 2-day working visit to Denmark. So assumingly he has landed in Denmark, but they did release pictures of his departure from the Brussels airport. This may be the first time that King Philippe has left the country in a year and a half, almost 2 years. I know in early March or late February they went to New York, and outside of that I don't think they've gone anywhere. He may have gone, strangely enough, he actually may have gone to Denmark for the Euro Cup. So his last 2 foreign trips have both been to Denmark. So this is going to be a working visit focused on Denmark's, labor market, training policies, laws and stuff for the labor market, as part of an ongoing series on how to perhaps improve Belgium's labor market situation. I know nothing about Belgium's labor market whatsoever. I don't know if this will be, I don't know. But Denmark seems like a really good place to get some information on this subject, because they are some of the happiest people, and their even employees are very happy. So I think that will be a good starting point if the ultimate goal is improvements. So that trip is officially starting tomorrow. So not a ton to talk about, but I wanted to mention it and give some context. That way tomorrow I can basically just hop into what day 1 was. Okay, so that is King Philippe's event. And then today also was Princess Elizabeth's 20th birthday, and the royal household released a new photo. So this is something that I'm pretty hesitant to do in most circumstances of these younger heirs to the thrones. However, I just want to state, I will do this for a lot of them, but Elizabeth being 20, she so far has just set the bar so flippin' high, that these younger heirs have a lot to live up to if they're gonna be similar, and have kind of the respect and admiration of their people the way she already does. It's just, we have Amalia turning 18 from the Netherlands this year. There's just a lot happening, and I just think Elizabeth has done such a good job, especially since graduating from her baccalaureate, which she went to UWC Atlantic, which is now where Princess Leonor and Princess Alexia of the Netherlands go, Leonor from Spain. And she just is phenomenal. She did a year of military training because she is going to be the head of the Belgian military. That is going to be part of her job as queen. And now she's at Oxford. Just props all around. I know I've fangirled on her a few times, but genuinely massive respect to her. and of course all the birthday wishes. So just like a fun little anecdote. One of the reporters that I follow on social media who follows the Belgian royal family shared that King Philippe talked to the press on the plane on his way to Denmark. You know, he said he called his daughter to wish her happy birthday, and just like talked about how well she was doing at Oxford. So she's been there almost a month now, at least in classes, and like he said that she was feeling at home and comfortable, and all of that. So I'm very happy to hear that, and just all the things. So that is what was going on in Belgium. For the UK, I'm not going to give them their own segment because this is an announcement more than anything, because there were no events today. However, it was announced today that the Prince of Wales and Duchess of Cornwall would be going on a foreign visit to Jordan and Egypt. In what month, might you guess? November. So I decided to write it all down because like I knew roundabout dates of everything, but I wrote it all down. And at this point, I'm just waiting for an announcement from Belgium because seriously, all seven, well, okay, 6 of the 7 right now have a foreign trip in November. Whether that be incoming or outgoing, they all have one. Every week of November, a royal is going to be out of the country. Every week in November. So, royal watching season is back. I am thrilled. I did just want to give an update because we're kind of talking about foreign trips and state visits, because this is like the closest we'll get to an outgoing state visit from the UK. Queen Elizabeth doesn't really travel internationally anymore, and I recognize that it's not a state visit to Jordan and Egypt, but it certainly, I expect it to be treated with some level of state visit-like quality, just because it's the heir to the throne. So, here's what I have decided. So, I've been thinking about it a lot because it's very overwhelming to me, just because this is the first time something like this has happened, which is great. Don't get me wrong. I'm so excited about it. It's just very strange. So, what I have decided is that because a lot of the state visits are, well, okay, 2 of the state visits are royal family to royal family. So, like the Netherlands to Norway, Spain to Sweden. Also just so excited for all of those. I am going to go ahead and talk about them in daily episodes. So what that means is like day 1 to start, we'll get to, again, let's pull Netherlands to Norway. We'll get to the Dutch royal family section and I'll talk about the state visit. It'll more than likely then combine the Netherlands and Norway into like one conversation. So instead of like the typical 5-ish minutes that I give to each country, it'll be able to be 10, because the Dutch royal family will have a lot more events, and then the Norwegian royal family, from their schedule so far, do not have other things planned. So, and then same thing in Spain, we'll get to the Spanish section and we'll talk about Spain and Sweden at the same time, because we'll just cover Felipe and Letitia's like daily events, and typically that's going to include a representative from the Swedish royal family. So far though, I'm a little concerned. It only says that King Carl Gustaf and Queen Sylvia are participating, and I really need there to be some Crown Princess Victoria and Prince Daniel, Felipe and Letitia like interaction. So, I'm just throwing that out there. Swedish royal family, get your crown princess on it too, please. Thanks. And then we also have Denmark to Germany, UK to Jordan and Egypt, and then in the first week it's a day trip. It won't be that much, but Willem Alexander and Maxima are going to Dubai, so we'll talk about that as well. But that's just, like I said, a day trip. And then I'm just now anticipating Belgium to do a state visit or have an incoming state visit because, well, everyone else is in November. I'm actually going to be a little disappointed if they don't, in all actuality. But they haven't released a November calendar yet. I checked again today. And so far there's nothing on their calendar for November at all. So we'll see. So that is the update kind of for the UK, but just in general. And so now we are going to go ahead and move over to the Danish royal family. Denmark. In Denmark today, before we got to anything that was actually shared on social media, Queen Margrethe did receive new ambassadors today. I genuinely despise that they don't share photos of like Queen Margrethe with the ambassadors. So they share photos of the event. None of them have the Queen in them. So I don't share them because why? But they have photos of the ambassador with like the Minister of Foreign Affairs or like some various person from the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. So anyway, today she received the credentials from the new ambassadors from Tonga, Cambodia, Kyrgyzstan, El Salvador, and Angola. So they, again, are having a very traditional ceremony in that they arrive via carriage. It's a very old ceremony that, like, literally every country does very similarly. I just really hate, like, in all the ones she's done recently, they've shared one photo of her at them. One. Like, why would it be impossible? And maybe hers is done a little bit differently. I don't know. But, like, the point is I don't know because they don't share photos of it. So, just general complaint. But because we all know I love this event. Also, very excited for state visits and all the things to be happening because that means this can stop being the most exciting event on the royal calendars. But anyway, so that was the first event. And then we get to the actually sustainable covered event where Crown Prince Frederik delivered the 2020 and 2021 Brain Prizes. So the Brain Prize, which is just like a really fun thing to say over and over again, Brain Prize, is an award that is given to 6 of the world's leading neuroscientists. So I don't know if that is 6 each year or 3 each year, because this was 2020 and 2021, because, again, pandemic. I don't know if I really need to say that anymore, but I like to, for things that are like 2020 and 2021, just because COVID. But the neuroscientists are awarded for their research as well as contributions to the general understanding of how the brain works. So I think that's really fun. It looks like a pretty cool event in terms of like delivering an award. I just also love the word, and I don't think it is actually Brain Prize in Danish. I mean, that's what it literally translates to, but I don't think they use English, the Brain Prize. But I still love the idea of an award being called the Brain Prize. But like, there are a lot of Danish words that translate like this, to where it's like literally, it's such a literal meaning. I can't remember what, anyway. There's just a lot of funny words in Danish. If you ever like look into it, there's a TikTok account that I follow that like discusses all the Scandinavian languages and words for things and how like literal they are and what they mean. And it's my favorite. So that is what was going on in Denmark. We still have no events from the Netherlands. They are the one country that does not have any events. Again, presumably it is half term in the Netherlands for Princess Ariane. I know UWC is on at least some sort of break. I don't know if that's still going or over or what. But I just assume that that's what this break is. So that there are no events today. I think I did my like pre-calendar, so like I know what's going on when, and King Willem-Alexander has events. He has 2 events this week, one on Wednesday and one on Thursday. So far that's what's scheduled. We'll see if we have any pop-up working visits that are not announced. But for now, we are going to just go ahead and move straight to Norway. Norway. In Norway, we had 2 almost drastically different events today, which is, I love days like that where there's like a lot of different subject matter to talk about. When the events are like super coordinated or there's only one event, I mean, it's fine, it's nice. I'm not gonna like super complain about it, but like, I don't know, King Harald had a really interesting event, and so did Crown Prince Haakon, and their events were like different from each other in terms of theme, which I really like. So first we have King Harald, who attended the celebration marking the 75th anniversary of the University of Bergen, which is one of Norway's top universities. Also astounding that a university is that young to me. Like, that seems really young, 75 years ago. But I guess it's really not in relation to, like, Norway. Because Norway as an independent country, I think has only existed since 1917. It might even be earlier. I don't know, it's just like, it's a very young country. Oh, maybe not. Okay. Turns out I'm crazy. It's 1814. But anyway, like, Norway is still fairly young. I don't know. That's crazy. Okay, I have taken a little time to research, and it is 1905 is when they were, they separated with Sweden. Because I was very surprised, because there haven't been that many kings of Norway, so I was very confused. So 1905 is when the modern Norway started, with the new king, who was King Haakon the 7th of Norway. So 1905 is actually pretty young, obviously, and so this university was created 75 years ago, with King Haakon the 7th laying the first brick. Which is awesome. So King Harald was there to celebrate that anniversary. He was able to look at like some really cool artifacts that the school has. I don't know, I just thought it was really awesome. So that was the first event. And then the second event, so this is going to be a 2-day event. Yes, he has events scheduled for tomorrow there as well. But Crown Prince Haakon attended the SIKT conference, or SIKT. I still am not entirely sure what that acronym stands for, but it's an organization that focuses on like Norway's future. So today, Haakon arrived. The conference officially starts tomorrow, but he arrived today and met with 50 young adults from around northern Norway to discuss the future of the region. So northern Norway is kind of the more rural area, is what I'm going to call it. It's a little less populated, a little less dense. less opportunity up there versus, down south near Oslo and some of the bigger cities like Trondheim, etc. And so the future of that region is really dependent on what advancements can be made now. And so that's what the conference is focusing on. And then I just thought this was cute. So he traveled up by train and was greeted by well-wishers at the train station because Norway no longer has COVID restrictions, so you can do this. And I just love that. I also just love that we are kind of to a point now, at least in the royal watching circle, a lot of COVID restrictions are gone from the countries we follow. Spain, I think, is the only, Belgium has some, but not a lot left. Spain is the only one that still has probably the most of the ones we follow. And I think that's just because of their colossally slow parliamentary process. Because it's Spain. I don't know. But that is the Norwegian update for the day. So now we are going to move over to the Spanish royal family's day. Spain. In Spain, King Felipe had 2 different events today, kind of all over the country. So this morning he attended the conference on family-run businesses, which is an annual conference. I'm not sure if he attends every year. He definitely attended last year, which makes me think he probably attends pretty regularly. But he traveled up, it was in Pamplona, which is in the northern part of Spain. So he traveled up there today to visit and open the conference, where he gave a speech that focused, again, on how important family-owned businesses are to Spain's economy. So I don't remember the number from last year, but it was a hefty amount of GDP was because of family-owned businesses, somewhere between 20 and 30%, which is a large number when you're talking about global domestic product. Tourism is their biggest, but then family-owned and small businesses is right there too. I mean, that's most of the restaurants are going to be family-owned, not all, but most. I would say maybe not even most anymore, but a good few are going to be family owned. It's just a very family centered kind of business structure, especially in the smaller regions. Madrid, of course, is obviously bigger companies and such, but here in small town America, the mom and pop shops are a real thing and very much there too. So that was his first event of the day. And then he traveled back down to Madrid for an audience with women leaders from the Mediterranean and Africa who are currently visiting Spain for a week with a visitor program hosted by the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and the AE. Okay, so it's AECID, which is the Spanish Association for International Cooperation and Development. I realized that what I just said did not meet the acronyms, but remember it's in Spanish, and I just translated it to English, which is what I do with all these things because only one of these countries speaks my language. So everything I get is from Google Translate. Spain is mostly just my brain translating, but not always. So like I said, this program is part of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. And what it does is these women come and visit for a week. They have lots of different meetings that they get to be a part of. They are paired with someone who has a very similar job to theirs. And so they can learn how Spain works. And so what this does is it provides both parties really with different perspectives that they can both take back to their day jobs and share. They also get to meet with the king, the minister of tourism and industry, probably the minister of foreign affairs. They get to go to cultural things like the Prado. And then they have, again, these like peers that they're paired with for the week. So I don't know. I thought it was a really cool program. I love programs like this that like Spain does, and I'm sure other countries do, but like I don't hear about them, just because like they don't have a lot of royal involvement. And also I don't have plans to, move and teach in any of these other countries right now. That is, just saved for Spain, and the other country I'm traveling to is the UK. So, yeah. So anyway, that is what was going on in Spain, and now we are going to move over to Sweden. Sweden. In Sweden, there were a couple of different events. Again, one highly publicized. It wasn't that highly, but it was more publicized than the other. So first, King Carl Gustaf and Queen Sylvia delivered the Farmers Confederation gold medals. So these are medals that were first delivered in 1958 by King Gustav Adolf, who I believe is King Carl Gustaf's grandfather, but also the king before King Carl Gustaf. And so it is specifically to, I believe, dairy farmers who have been producing milk for at least 23 years, all over the country. And so today it was awarded to 23 dairy farmers, which made me very confused as to why that number is 23 and 23, but cool. And so that is what he and Queen Sylvia were doing. They didn't share any pictures of Queen Sylvia delivering medals. They mentioned she was there. It was on her calendar event, but like, I genuinely don't know. I tagged her in the post that I shared online, on thedailyroyal.com, but like, I don't know if she was there. I assume she was because they mentioned her, which sometimes they share a picture of her but don't mention her. So I don't know which one I would rather have. Honestly, both. Can I have you mention her and share a picture of her? Anyway, so that was the first event, and then King Carl Gustaf also met with the new governor for Blekinge County. I'm not sure which is the correct pronunciation there, but they met upon her election as the new governor. I don't remember if they've been to that county or not yet. I know there's only a few more county tours to go. We do have one coming up this week. But I don't know. Yeah, we have one on Thursday though, but it is not to Blekinge County. So anyway, that is what was going on in Sweden today. They do have a pretty busy week scheduled. As always though, I am really just sharing what they share on their website. There are some other things going on behind the scenes that we don't really see, like meetings and stuff, but like there was a lot of that. There's a lot of that going on, and as we're nearing 30 minutes of a podcast, I'm just not going to talk about that filler stuff too much anymore, just because there isn't going to be time. Like, now that real things are happening and we're not living in a pandemic, it's not just like any event whatsoever is the most important event, because like now we're getting 6 countries have foreign visits next month. Like, there's a lot going on. So the behind the scenes meetings that they aren't sharing photos or even like a write-up on, I'm not talking about. Same thing in all these countries. Like meetings with the prime ministers, not really talking about. Court circular events, haven't talked about since September. Don't plan on continuing to. All of those things. So anyway, that is what was going on in 6 of our countries, because we don't have anything from the Netherlands. And with that, I'm going to finish this episode. Please go visit thedailyroyal.com, The Daily Royal on Instagram, like and review this podcast. Go check out Shop The Daily Royal as well. I haven't put up new products. That's not to say I won't be in the next couple of days. I, right now, just am kind of really busy. Just a lot going on that has nothing to do with this podcast for me this week. So, like, I'm speeding through this episode. I'm going to go do something, lots of stuff happening this week. So we'll see what continues. But Shop The Daily Royal is up right now. 3 of the 7 countries have products listed. I'll probably get the Netherlands listed by the end of the day. But we'll see if I do or not. Like I said, I've got social things happening. So anyway, that is what was going on today, and I will talk to you all tomorrow. Have a fantastic Tuesday. Bye.